Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Don't Waste Your Money chat here on WPTV News Channel 5. I'm John Matarese, host of the Don't Waste Your Money consumer segment, which airs weekday mornings at 6 a.m. and again at 5 and 5:30 p.m. during the week. All sorts of consumer topics we explore. We've been looking a lot into inflation, of course, lately, high gas prices in South Florida, and everything grocery related, from shortages to soaring prices and how to cope with it. Now, one of the topics I did in this past week that was really interesting because I've had a lot of feedback on it was about buy now, pay later. And you say, what's buy now, pay later? Well, in the old days, they called it installment plans when your mom used to go to Kmart and buy something on an installment plan. These days, however, all sorts of retailers, especially online retailers, are rolling out what they call buy now, pay later. They even have an abbreviation for it, BNPL. And what it is it's an installment over 6 months where you go and you put down the first month's payment and then you don't pay again until the month after. And the month after, you stretch your payments out. Just did a clip about it.
Can't afford those styling shoes or trendy new jacket, but you really want it? Many shoppers these days are turning to Buy Now, Pay Later, an installment program thousands of retailers now offer. It's very popular with college students, like David Germano, who says it lets you shop when your bank account is near empty.
It has been able to branch out payments so that people can actually afford like necessities such as some food, some textbooks.
Buy Now, Pay Later, or BNPL, divides your purchase into 4 or 6 payments. The first payment is due at checkout, the rest monthly, like a car loan but without interest. Anu Faison really likes the idea.
I feel like that would be really helpful. That we should have the option to choose whether we should pay a full down payment or do month to month.
Now, it sounds like a great idea, but what we did was we looked into it further. We talked to some credit counselors, and we said there are some downsides of buy now, pay later. You know, it seems great because you spread everything out over 6 months. There's no interest involved, unlike putting it on your credit card and you end up with $10 interest every month. No, it's just a good thing. However, the credit counselors cautioned that a lot of people are starting to get into trouble with buy now, pay later because they're piling purchase on top of purchase, and they really don't have that money in their checking account. I mean, that's why they're doing it, because they say, oh, I want this for my house. I want this for my car. I want this clothing, this great pair of shoes. But they really don't have that $150 in their checking account. So they do it buy now, pay later, and they end up with multiple payments coming in month after month for 6 months. Then you do another one next month, another one. And some people are really starting to fall behind, to get underwater. So what happens? Well, what happens is if you skip a payment, if you can't pay it in the full amount of time, guess what? Your credit score gets a hit. And that's really bad for you. You're better off at that point putting on a credit card and just paying a little bit every month what you can. So the bottom line here, buy now, pay later. You'll see it on eBay. You'll see it on Amazon. You'll see it everywhere. It's stores at the mall. But know that you need to be able to pay that off each month for 6 months. Otherwise, you can get in over your head. Your credit score will be dinged and you will find yourself really struggling. So just be very careful with these new plans. Another story I did in the past couple of weeks was about Amazon Prime raising the cost of their membership to $139 a year. I remember when I started with Amazon Prime, it was about $75 a year. And it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. You get free 2-day shipping, $75 a year. Not even going to notice it. Well, then it went up to $99. Then it went up to $119. Now it's just gone up to $139. And we looked into it and whether it's really still worth having.
Addicted to Amazon and that blue truck showing up at your doorstep every few days? Then you probably won't mind spending an extra $20 a year for Amazon Prime, which is raising its annual fee from $119 to $139 in late March. But the price has almost doubled from its launch back when it was just $79 a year for 2-day free shipping on most items. So if you only shop Amazon a half dozen times a year and don't use its Prime Video service, it may no longer make sense. After all, you can still get free shipping on most items over $25 without paying for Prime membership.
You know, and that's what a lot of people don't realize is that you don't need Amazon Prime to get free shipping. Now, the Prime guarantees you, well, these days with shipping delays, nothing's guaranteed. But the Prime tries to get you items in 1 or 2 days. And that is an advantage because without it, it's going to take a few more days. But if you pay over $25 for something, let's say I need a new speaker for my phone and it's going to be $75, you can get free shipping on that, even if you're not an Amazon Prime member. A lot of people don't realize that. They think you have to be on Amazon Prime to get free shipping. So the reality is that you can get the free shipping without it. You do get Amazon Prime Video. And I know I watch a lot of movies that way. I watch a lot of shows that way. So if you use Prime Video for streaming, you've got Netflix and you've got Prime Video, you're pretty much well covered because they have the movies on Prime, then it's worth it. But if you're not using Prime Video, you're not using Amazon Music, and you only order something on Amazon every month or two, really that $139 may be something that you don't have to spend. And it's just money saved at $139. So think about it, that maybe if you're an infrequent Amazon user, you may not have to have Amazon Prime and get that $139 hit. Also, if you pay monthly, they let you pay monthly, but it's $150 a year. So that starts to really add up once you hit $150 a year. While we're talking about saving money, how about gas prices? With South Florida gas prices over $4 a gallon at many stations. Wow, getting expensive. So you know what happens every time gas prices go up? This happened back in 2009. All these little gadgets come out of the woodwork. They start advertising on Facebook and Instagram. You'll see them everywhere. These little gadgets that promise to save you money. Just plug it into your car and you'll boost your car's gas mileage. Really, the best way to save money on gas is not to buy some gadget that probably won't do anything. It's to change the way you drive. And we just did a story on that.
Bosco Engels hops into his Prius to show his secrets for getting 50, 60, or more miles per gallon.
And the best thing on that is just to not accelerate as fast.
Bosco is a hypermiler who saves money on gas by treating the gas pedal like a carton of eggs and doing
Smooth but consistent acceleration.
His biggest tips: no jackrabbit starts, anticipate red lights and stop signs, and turn your car's stop-start feature back on if it has one. His other secret to great mileage: drive the speed limit.
Every 5 miles an hour above 70, you're going to get 5 to 10 miles an hour less gas mileage.
Yeah, I mean, if you're driving 75 or 80 on I-95, you're really burning a lot of gas. You bring that down to 60 or 65, you're going to save gas. The bit about the jackrabbit starts, that's where you burn a lot of gas, is speeding up as soon as the light turns green. Then there's a red light up ahead, you slam on the brakes, you're burning a lot of gas. So change your driving habits. Some viewers have pointed out, they say another great tip is to take all the weight out of your trunk. So if you have a lot of stuff that you keep back in your trunk, lighten up the load a little bit. Some people even go so far as to take the third row out of their SUV. If they don't use the third row, those seats can weigh 25, 30 pounds each. You take those out if you're never using them. So lighten the load a bit, lighten up the driving, and you'll save money. So what about the gadgets? I mean, I mentioned that early. You can get on Amazon and you can find all sorts of fuel-saving gadgets. Some of them are magnets that you stick on your fuel line under the hood. Others, I love this one. It's a little blue light that you plug into the dashboard, into your USB socket or your 12-volt socket, and it's a glowing blue light, and it gets dimmer and brighter and dimmer and brighter, and it says it's going to save you 20% on gas mileage. Well, what it does is it gives you a blue light. The FTC has looked into so many of these gadgets and says there's nothing you can add to your car that's going to dramatically increase your mileage. And the reason is, if it worked, automakers would do it. Think of how hard they're working to boost mileage. That's why they added the stop-start feature that people hate. It's to give you an extra 1 mile to the gallon, maybe. That's why they did it, why they are using lighter metals and everything, because they want to reduce weight, get better mileage. Now, if there was a little magnet you could put under your hood, or if there was a blue light you could plug into your dashboard and it gave you 10, 20% better mileage, I would think every car coming from the factory would have a little magnet on it. So the FTC has reviewed hundreds of these over the past 10, 15 years and says it's never found one that really boosts your mileage. It's funny, some people who do swear by them, who buy one of these gadgets, and they'll say, wait a minute, I put a little magnet under the hood on the fuel line in it, and it boosted my mileage. I'm getting better mileage. The reason they're getting better mileage is because they're trying to get better mileage. And they're doing what Bosco did. They're driving slower. They're coasting to the stop sign. They're not gunning it at the lights. And guess what? They're getting better mileage, but they're not getting better mileage because they snapped a magnet on their fuel line, because those things don't really do it. What about fuel additives? Well, some claim they can boost mileage a bit. There are some oil additives that'll thin your oil a little bit and might make the car run a little better. We talked to some car experts about that, but you have to be careful. Anytime you play with anything in your engine, especially adding anything to the oil, changing the oil, using super thin oil, you might get slightly better mileage, and then you might damage the engine. Damaging the engine can cost you $5,000 to fix. So I'd be real careful with any sort of engine or oil modification that claims it's going to boost your gas mileage. So that's about what you can do. We did a story earlier about apps because they're, great ways to save by using some saving apps like Gas Buddy, which is a really good one that shows you the cheapest stations around South Florida. So you can find that, you're paying $4.49 here. It's only $3.99 there. Use Gas Buddy. That's a great way to scout out local stations that have cheaper gas. So those are some of the stories that I've done in the past week or so that have been of high interest. I'm always looking into other stories and always welcome ideas from News Channel 5 viewers. Anything you notice, any scam or ripoff or something going on at the gas pumps or the grocery store, I'm happy to hear from you. Send me an email and or send me a Facebook message, and I'd love to connect. I would love to hear from you because that's where I get a lot of my ideas. We're talking, and we've been talking about grocery prices, about shortages, and we're really trying to help our viewers save a few dollars. So this is John Matarese. Don't waste your money guy over at WPTV News Channel 5. Hope you can catch my reports weekdays 6 a.m. and again at 5:30 p.m. where we're going to try to help you save money, avoid scams, avoid bad deals. And that means a lot these days with inflation running at 10% a year and even higher when it comes to the price of gas. So great talking to you. We'll talk more soon. Hope to see you on News Channel 5.